Hello students, welcome to the video lectures of software engineering. So today we are going to talk about testing strategies. Okay, so what are testing strategies? Testing is the process of exercising a program with specific intent of finding errors prior to delivery to the end user. Testing shows errors, requirement conformance, performance, and indication of quality. And testing strategies are designed to identify and address potential defects, ensuring that the software product is reliable, efficient, and meets its user requirements. So either the way you can say about the testing strategies. So in simple terms, so testing is a process of running a program to find the errors. So why do we do the testing? So before we hand over it to the user, we do this testing. That is, we try to it's a kind of process to run a program and to find the errors before we give it to the user. So the main aim of this testing is to make sure that the software is working correctly and it meets the requirements of the user and it is performing well, and finally it should have a very good quality. So these are all the things which fall when we talk about testing strategies, right? Then we see what are the strategic approaches that we have towards the testing, right? So test strategy incorporates test planning, test case design, test execution, and resultant data collection and execution, right? So which means a good testing strategy will include planning the tests, designing the test cases, running them, and collecting the results. So this will help the developer follow a clear step-by-step process, right? So when we go further, so we all provide the software developer with a template for testing and all have the following generic characteristics. So first one is to perform formal technical reviews, that is FTRs we say, to uncover errors during software development. Second is to begin testing at component level and move outward to integration of entire component based system. Third one is to adopt a testing technique relevant to stages of testing. Fourth one, testing can be done by software developer and independent testing group. So testing and debugging are different activities. Debugging will follows the testing. So the generic characteristics that are mentioned over here are, so first one says that to perform some formal technical reviews, right? So which means initially as a first step, we do these formal technical reviews to find the errors in early development stage. Then the second point speaks that, so we start testing from small components called these components. Okay, we start testing from small parts, we say. So those parts are these components. And then we test how they work together as a system, right? Then the next point says adopt testing techniques relevant to stages of testing, which means we use different methods depending on what stage it is in. So then next, here you see the testing can be done by software developer and independent testing group. That means we have both the developers and separate testers or separate testing group that exists which can do this testing process. And finally, you have to remember that testing is to find errors where debugging is to fix them. So these are two different tasks. Clear? So then we talk about verification and validation. So verification says, which refers to set of activities that ensures that software correctly implements a specific function. Whereas validation is, it refers to a different set of activities that ensure that the software that has been built is traceable to customer requirements, right? Where Boehm says verification is, are we building the product right? Validation is, are we building the right product? So there's the difference. So when we talk about this verification and validation, so verification is to check whether the software is built correctly or not, which means it should follow the design properly to ensure this. So validation means it's a kind of, checking whether we are building the right product or not, and it should meet the customer's needs. So that is the reason you can see how the BOEM have stated this verification as, are we building the product right, and validation, are we building the right product? Okay. So verification and validation thus will, covers many kind of quality checks, like reviews or performance checks or testing simulations and even documentation sometimes. Okay. So in that way, the testing is one part of this whole big process. So then we talked about organizing for software testing. So the people who have built the software are now asked to test the software. This seems harmless in itself. After all, who knows the program better than its developers do? Unfortunately, these same developers have a vested interest in demonstrating that the program is error-free, so that it works according to customer requirements. So usually the people who build the software also test it in the beginning. That makes sense because they know the code, whatever they have written, very well. But there is a problem in this kind of approach. See, they might have done something wrong, or they might have done some mistakes because they want to believe that everyone that the code, whatever they have written, is perfect or correct. Right. So here comes an independent testing group which will do a testing of the entire thing. So from a psychological point of view, software analysis and design, that is along with the coding, are termed to be constructive tasks, right? But from the point of view of the builder, the testing can be considered to be destructive, right? So that is the difference. And the role of an independent testing group, okay, it is to remove the inherent problems associated with letting the builder test the thing that has been built. So independent testing removes the conflict of interest that may otherwise be present. However, the software engineer does not turn the program over to the independent testing group and walk away. The developer and the ITG work closely throughout a software project to ensure that thorough tests will be conducted. While testing is conducted, the developer must be available to correct errors that are uncovered. So, which means, so we involve, see, earlier we had a discussion that the programmers or the coder will try to make everyone believe that their code is correct. Okay. So we have an independent testing group. So where we involve this ITG. Okay, so they are not the developers and they can test the software without any kind of bias. So they are just focused on finding the issues rather than providing or proving that the software is perfect or something like that. Okay, so but there is a question like, when independent testing group of testers are testing this, do the developers are available? Yes. So the developers also will stay involved when these people, that is the independent testing group ITG is working. So they work with them, they collaborate, okay, especially to fix any kind of bugs the ITG group finds in the way. Okay. So this is the reason why this ITG is also part of the project from the beginning, where they help in this planning the tests and to stay involved till the end of the project. Okay. So thank you, students.